transforming them through the unique emotive power of the puppet. In addition to numerous awards and reviews for his theater work, he won a 2014 Rose Prize in Visual Art. He has had 3 McDowell Colony Fellowships, and until 4, make that 4 now, McDowell Colony Fellowships, and until 2023, he was on the McDowell board. He has recently turned his attention to exhibitions, including Saved from Drowning, the work of Dan Herlin, at the Flinn Gallery, Sarah Lawrence College, and Motel, shown at La Mama Galleria in Chicago Fine Arts. He has taught at Barnard, Bennington, Benham, Princeton, and Sarah Lawrence, where he's department chair. He divides his time between New York and Spoleto, Italy. And now I will turn it over to Dan to tell us more about his illustrious life.
I'm sort of fascinated with how historical stories can so often be stranger than truth. So I made a piece very early on about the Yonkers couplets. I made a piece about a newspaper editor from New Hampshire named William Loeb. I made a piece about the guy who traveled across Iowa on a lawnmower. So I always start with some sort of kernel of historical fact. And it doesn't have to be historical, it can also be current. Motel is an interesting slight deviation on that. I've been working on a piece called Bismarck, which is also based on a true story. And it's been slow in coming, and it's changing, and anyway. I just decided at one point, well, I'll just build the set. You know, and that way, when I get the funding, when I get everything all together, at least the set will be done. And so that's sort of the beginning of Motel. But then, as I continued to work on it, it became clear that it was its own story. It was really totally its own story. And I no longer think of it in relation to Bismarck at all. I have a story for it, and I'm happy to share with you what it is, but I don't want to say it, to everybody, because I want you to have the experience of putting the story together yourself. And This Farmer was also about, that was a piece about a photographer working between the wars in Arkansas named Mike This Farmer, who was a kind of town misanthrope. But after he died, his photographs came to light, and it turned out he was just a complete genius. And in the piece, I was interested in how small towns I was interested in extinction, and how the local photographer in a town that's no longer doesn't extinct thing. And small towns are going extinct because of Eisenhower's highway system. And so in this piece, I reimagined the last week in his life, but instead of actually dying, he shrinks. So there are 6 puppets. That one I think is number 3. So he gets shorter, and smaller and smaller and smaller as the piece goes. And then that piece, Demolishing Everything, was based on material that I found when I was in Rome. I found 4 unproduced, unpublished, untranslated puppet plays by the Italian futurist Fortunato Di Piero. But anyway, and then I'll talk more.
Actually, I just put out it was in fact knowing that Dan was turning his attention to exhibitions that was the starting point of this exhibition. Because as soon as I knew, I'm clearly a fan of all of these artists, and when I knew that that was a possibility, I started thinking about the other artists that would work with that. And together, as Dan said, and actually Michael said it as well, I think all 3 of them said it, there are their own stories of what's going on here. But the viewer, the hope is that the viewer feels comfortable coming up with their own story. And making stories is something that we all do and that we all want to do. And so that is really the start of this performative stories. And you want to add one more thing, right?
Yeah, I have one more thing. I don't think it's what you think it is. But Leslie won't tell you, you only know, you've known her for a very long time. She herself is very distinguished career in the arts. She ran Silvermine for 6 years, and before that, ran the Jim Henson Foundation for 20 years. And as a result, she herself is a published artist, and her book is here tonight, Out of the Shadows, and I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. Anyway, thank you again, Leslie, and thanks to all of our artists.
Thank you all for coming. And there will be 2 artist talks. The one Saturday is featuring Dan Carlin and Jason Gardner, and the one on March 1st, after Jamie's back from Captiva Island, will be Jamie Geiser and Michael Kikuchi. So thank you for coming, and I hope you come all.
You're sort of back there.
And my mother would say, thank you. I don't, I'm not saying thank you. Thank you.
You can't move them anymore?
It's funny that most of my work is kind of like I glue it together as a finished piece, like when I kind of like know it's done. But only one piece is actually like never glued and still like it's kind of like
You could still be moving?
yeah.
Using the peel off or something?
Oh, for these it's kind of like permanent glue. But like that one I actually like put the masking tape. And then like you can actually still move it, so it's still going on.
It seems like it'd be hard because I see in there, those are those works here.
Right.
And it just seems like you might commit to something. Maybe.
Yeah.
You might want like another idea of something. But how come they don't was it their decision or yours to only feature this work and not your puppets and other things? I mean, it sounds like you do a lot of different kinds of work.
Right. Yes. It's like the puppetry and then this kind of collage works. It's kind of it doesn't look the same, but like I'm using a lot of two-dimensional feature in my puppet show as well. I always like wearing like the mask, like kind of box-shaped mask with a two-dimensional face on it.
Your work.
Yeah,
So you're operating a puppet, but then you're also your
exactly.
face is also.
So it's kind of like I'm being like puppet. So it's like the mixture of. It's kind of like to me, it's always like my purpose of creation is like how I can create a daydream and share with others. So for this collage works, like as I said, I thought like I create that daydream story through this window and I share with others. But in the puppetry, I created like live performance daydream on the stage and then literally sharing with others. So it's kind of like a different media, but it's like all same purpose to me.
It would have been interesting if they had another TV or something just to see some of your puppetry work. Just to kind of get more of a,
Yeah. Maybe like next time, like less regulated, I'm going to ask her. But thank you so much for being interested in my work.
Yeah,
Yeah.